Good morning everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualised NZ. I want to issue a very warm welcome to those who might be joining me for the first time through the collaboration with Rachel Bella Crafts and Angela Kerr Designs for #JournalJigsaw. Welcome to my channel. So we're working on crafting a garden story and we're near the end, so I'm not going to go into a lot of details because you would have heard it a zillion times by now. So most of you will know the hashtag, you'll know where to find the information, but if you don't, if by some chance the whole thing slipped you by, then all the information will be down in the description box. So just head along down to there, you'll find all the links, all the info, everything you need. So today I am working, my prompt for today is Blossoming Bookpage Baskets, and I am doing the Bright and Shabby version, and each day there's two people doing a video, and my partner for today is my Altered Muse, and she will be doing the grungy, I can't remember the prompt, but she's doing the other one. So one's grungy and one is bright and shabby, and I'm doing the bright and shabby today. I will be using the kits from both Rachel Bella Crafts and Angela Kerr Designs, bits and pieces from both. It's at the point now where I can't remember what came from where, so if you're interested in the kits and you haven't got them already, pop on down to the description box, check them out. They are stunning. You really will want them. They are beautiful, both of them, and they work together seamlessly. So let's get into the project today. So I've chosen out this page here, beautiful page, and I have backed it with one of the background pages, and this is the page I'm going to be working on. Just whatever page you like, whether it's already in a journal or not, choose out a page to pop this project on. But you can wait until you've made the project and then choose a page. It's just I haven't got a journal made yet, so I'm just starting with this. Right, the other thing that we are going to be using is some book page paper weaving. Sad story, I did a little video, just a short wee tutorial on how I do my paper weaving, and I uploaded it, went to edit it, and I only got half of the video, as somehow it chopped off. So I don't know whether I'll be able to redo it in time for this video to go live. If I do manage to, it'll be linked in the description box, but otherwise I'm sure most of you know how to weave paper anyway. I just thought it might be a cute little fun tutorial to have as an aside, because I didn't want to take time on today's video to actually do the paper weaving, because it can be a little time intensive. So assuming you know how to paper weave, weave yourself up some book page weaving. I use two different colors of book page. So one's this lovely creamy aged one, and that one's in Dutch, and then this book page is in Spanish, and it's in a more grey, and I like the two-tone, but you can use whatever book page you like. It can be in English, it doesn't matter, it's just that texture and fun. So with this we are going to create a basket, and I just thought the paper weaving is the perfect thing to make a basket with. So to make your basket, you can make it any shape, size that you like, as long as it fits on your journal page. And so I'm going to grab my ruler once I unbury it. And I'm going to make the top of the basket 5 inches. Well, this bit of weaving is actually like 5 1/8, almost, it's a fraction over that, but I might go with that width, and let's make it, how tall, let's go 3 1/4 inches high. Your measurements will be completely different to mine depending on the size of your weaving. and how big you want it to be on your page. So I've got to find my mark now. Where did I make my mark? There it is. So we're going to give it a bit of shape, but I'm just cutting it down to the size first. So we've got a fun scrap there. That would make a really cool tag base. Back it with some writing paper and good to go for a tag. Right. So from here, I'm going to try and find the middle. That could be easier said than done because it's kind of an odd measurement. Well, it's 13.1 centimetres. That might be easier. I switch between inches and centimetres depending what's easiest. So 13.1, it's still not easy, is it? It's like 6.5 plus a half. So it's about right on that line. It doesn't really matter too much. So now that I've got my centre point there, I'm going with that as my centre point. I'm going to come in for the base. Do I want to do inches? Let's do inches. I'm going to come in 1/2 inch from each side. And there. I've been so nervous to do this video. I don't understand what's wrong with me. I've just been a bit weird. I've got a lot going on in my personal life and I'm fine when it comes to just kind of muddling along with whatever project, but when I go to do something that requires more planning, more thought and more pressure, just because I want to get this right, I want to do well for Rach and Bella Crafts and for Angela Kerr. I just, yeah, been feeling quite anxious about it for whatever reason, and it's just my headspace at the moment, just struggling to deal with things. Yep, that looks pretty good. So we have our basket shape. Now you could make it curved. In fact, why don't we give it a little curve on the bottom? I'm just going to eyeball it and give it a little rounded base there. They won't be exactly even, but it won't matter. Now because we've cut into our weaving, we need to just take a moment to go around the edges and make sure everything's glued down on the edge. And yep, there's definitely some gluing needed to happen here. Make sure it all holds together. And all the little bits that have been chopped into, you might have chopped off the glue that was originally holding it. So just take a moment, because we don't want it to fall apart or catch on anything over time. Oops, putting about as much glue on my desk as I am on my project. And then just, that one looks like it's lifting. Is it lifting? Oh, it's lifting away from the base, so it's just under the base. I need to go in along there. So hopefully this video turns out okay, because I've just been, yeah, just in a weird headspace. And it's like, gosh, you just got to do this thing, girl. Just got to do it. And it's not like I don't know what I'm doing or that I didn't have it all planned out or anything. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. Just been weird. I am going to ink around this. Even though we're going bright and shabby, a basket is typically like, I think, cane. It could be painted. It could be basket made of anything. But for me, a basket, I like the natural baskets woven from natural cane or even stained cane. they're my preference. So for me, a neutral basket is where it's at, so I'm just going to stick with that. And I feel it does have a little bit of a shabby kind of feel to it, shabby look, shabby style, but we are going to play a little bit with that and add a bit more shabbiness to it and a bit more brightness, because I've got to remember it's Shabby Bright and it's Blossoming Bookpage Basket, so we've got to bring all those things together with the Garden Story digital kit. Okay, so going to add some shabbiness with some lace, and I've got a couple of options here. I've got this orangey one, which is kind of fun, or we've got this more dark peach, which is also pretty. Oh, now I don't know which one I want. Well, I haven't got much of this orange one, so we may as well use that. I think both are pretty, so it doesn't really matter which one I use. I always find it difficult to tell which side of the lace is the right side, or which side's meant to be the right side. Just gonna drop it there, glue it on, and I am going to just use tacky glue for this. Typically I would use alcohol glue, or you might use Fabri-Tac or hot glue, or whatever your preference is, but this is just very light lace and it's not holding anything, so I'm just going to use my tacky glue there. And because I'm running low on my alcohol glue, I have been for months, I'm being very sparing with it. Right, so let's just pop that there, and I will trim off the overhang. So we've got a little lacy top on our basket, and I just think that is so pretty. So I'm just going to trim off these wee bits. You could let them hang over, just trim them to the same side on each side. That would look pretty as well. It's so cute. You see my corners are definitely not the same. It's fine, doesn't matter. It's going to be cute anyway. Right, the other thing, sorry, just having a sip of my cold cup of coffee, is I like to add something to the basket. So I've got a couple of options here. I've just got my basket of bits at the top here, my tray of bits that are all getting tangled. Maybe we can move our lace out of there now because we've done that. I've got this little applique lacy flower. I've got a prototype which I'll show later on where I used one of these. And this is the second one, and I've only got 2 of them, so I could do that. Or I've also got this die cut sunflower out of Bookpage, and I think that could be quite pretty. I think I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to colour it in because we want to go bright, and also we want it to be visible. So using up our book pages, which is absolutely fantastic because I need to do that, I'm going to grab my alcohol markers. Just going to colour it in. And then I'm just going to take an orange and just give it a darker centre there. And sunflowers have a black centre really, don't they? But we're not going necessarily for realistic. We're just going for colourful, bright, happy. That's that. Probably hard to see on this paper. And then I'm going to take a green and do the leaves and the stem. Oops, try not to bend the leaves, dear. We're not going to need the whole stem, but I might as well colour it just so I don't have to worry about a bit missing. Okay, so we've coloured in our pretty flower. Yeah, so if we snip it about where that B is on the book page, and don't throw out any bits like this that you might cut off because they can be used as well. Pop that down there. Again, I'm just going to use tacky glue for all the fine little bits on die cuts. I find it easiest with the fine nozzle. So I hope you've really enjoyed the collaboration to date. Have you managed to watch every video, or are you playing catch up? I am definitely playing catch up. I am quite far behind, but that's where the playlist is really helpful. You'll find the playlist on Rachel's channel, Rach and Bella Crafts, so you can go and see what ones you haven't watched yet and kind of follow along. You do need to comment and like every video if you want to be part of the giveaway. Otherwise you won't be in the drawing for winning anything. So you need to do that. Usually Rachel closes it off about a week after the last video goes up. But all that information will be on Rachel's channel. So just follow the information and you'll be fine. Of course, I'm not in the giveaway because I am one of the presenters, I guess you could call us, one of the crafters participating in the collab. So yeah, but yes, I definitely want to go back and watch all of the videos. I'm trying my best, but I am definitely behind because there's so much amazing talent and inspiration. Oh, that's great in the middle of a collab video is my doorbell. I'm sorry guys, I'll be right back. My apologies for the interruption. It was a courier bringing my supplements that I ordered. So anyway, back to what we were doing. So we've got a basket, we've decorated it with some lace and with a sunflower. I'm thinking about some sort of label or something on the front there. There are some words in, I believe, Angela's kit. Home is where my plants are. Well, not so much here because I kill plants. I'm not a great gardener. In fact, I'm not a gardener at all, really. A flower blooms for its own joy. A quote. This is probably more like me. Grow, damn it. He's a really pretty crazy plant lady. No, that's not me. It's not about me though. Water please. That's definitely my house. Things have to be quite tough to survive here. Plantaholic. Yep, that's not me. But there's also some really cute ticket things. I quite like that, but I think I want to trim it down. It's got a gingham border and it's quite pale to see. But I'm just going to trim the gingham border off because I want it a little bit smaller, because I want to see the paper weaving, the basket in the background. I don't want to cover up too much of that. I'm just going to trim off those bits. Actually, you could probably trim even more. Trying to cut straight. I've got next to no fingernails at the moment, so it's a bit of a struggle picking things up off my mat. Maybe down the bottom there. And I think I will ink this as well, just to bring it up off that book page a little bit. Yeah, nice. So cold day today here. I've got the fire going properly for the first time this autumn. And it's just lovely and cozy, and I'm not cold, and that is delightful. So this kit is all about, well, a lot about spring, although it does cross into summer as well, I believe. It would equally be at home in summer. And we're in autumn here. But that's okay. I don't mind crafting out of season. Right, so we're now ready to glue this down. So I'm going to glue down a basket as a pocket. But it is a basket. It's going to be a basket that's blooming. So we'll get to the blooming very shortly here. Center on my page. Now when I'm doing this, I'm envisaging this as the center of my signature. So this will be using this page as well, but this is the basket. We've glued it down. And now we want to fill it with beautiful blooms. And my whole concept for this is that this is a basket with flowers that you take in and out and rearrange to your heart's content. So the owner of the journal can have a very interactive aspect of rearranging the flowers per season or per their desire, their preference. They can use the flowers in decorating ephemera, they can glue them down elsewhere, but otherwise it's just interactive. And we also have spare flowers that they can mix and match, and so they might feel like, oh, I want a yellow display today, so arrange yellow flowers, and it's like, now I want a mixed bouquet, and take out some of their spares and put some of the ones that are in here out, and mix and match, and ever changeable. That's the idea behind this. So to achieve this, I have several different ideas for flowers that you can use. One of them is these beautiful pages of freebies from Rachel. These are available on her Ko-fi shop. Really, really lovely flowers. I've chosen out the tallest ones, but I haven't done all of them. I've just done some of them. And I'm going to show you what I did. So I've got this one. I've loosely cut around it, glued it onto some book page. It's a little bit curly. Let's just flatten it out a little bit. And then I'm going to fussy cut around it. It's also got a little glue streak on it, which is a little annoying. I might be able to scratch that off or something. I'm going to try an eraser and see whether that does anything. No, it doesn't. It was worth a go. But for that, now I'm going to ignore that, and I'm going to trim around our flower. I'm only going to fussy cut one of these on camera, so don't worry, I'm not going to be doing a whole bunch. And we don't cut across the bottom. If you're crafting along, or if you're getting ahead of me, don't cut across the bottom yet. And I'm cutting inside the border right up to the petals. It depends on what you want to do. If it's a trickier flower, then I would cut it around the border, leave the border in. But this one's quite nice and easy to cut round, so going right up to the flower. Okay, so when it comes to the stem, continue straight down for as much paper as you want or have got. So I haven't got a huge amount at the bottom here. And then back up here. And by doing this, we're extending the height of the flower. And I will show why we're doing that. So we're almost there. We've only got 3 more petals to go. Well, actually it was 2.5. So down to the last half. And we're done. So the idea of leaving an extra bit of length at the bottom of your stem, depending on the flower. So some of these you won't need to do that. Like these tall ones here, you wouldn't need to leave extra length. But for a shorter one, like for this one, for example, you would want to leave quite a big length. You can always chop it off later if you decide it's too much. But that allows us to tuck it into our basket. If we only had this much of the stem, then we'd have to put it in deeper and not have much of our flower showing. So it just gives us an ability to have it up a bit higher. Whoops, I didn't obviously glue that down very well when I glued it. So let's just fix that up. Probably because that's the white bit at the bottom and I didn't think about gluing all the way down to the bottom. So just leaving that extra bit of height on the bottom is beneficial. Even if you end up chopping it off, I recommend leaving it longer to begin with. So that's one option, is taking the printables, and it doesn't have to be these ones, it could be any flower printables that you've got, and backing them onto book page. So we've got that cool book page on the back and fussy cutting them out. So that's one idea for flowers for your basket. The other idea, I don't know, have I got any here? No. Where'd I put them? I'm losing my mind, people. Sorry, I am here. Okay, just finding where I put them. So the other idea is book page illustrations. So this is out of a book on roses. It's actually a plate that's in the book. So an illustrated plate that's just got minimal text on the back. It's quite thick, so I haven't backed it with anything. I've just left it as is and just fussy cut around the flower. And there was multiple roses on this page, so I just separated them out, and you can use book page illustrations. That's your second idea. So a bit of fussy cutting going on, but that's okay. If you're like me, you like fussy cutting. If you don't like fussy cutting, well, this kind of goes with junk journaling, doesn't it? Unless you've got like a digital cutting machine or something. So my other idea for flowers is die cuts. So I have these sets of dies here. So I've got this one, which is a 5-petaled flower, and it comes in a set of 4 different sizes so that you can layer them up. So and I've had these for yonks, so I can't tell you where I got them from. I've had them for so long. And then I've got this set of daisy shape that's in 3 different sizes again, so you can layer them up. So I've cut some book page with those, and I've got them over here. Now I have gone for a reasonably sturdy book page. It's not super thick, but it's not fragile. It is white. Doesn't matter that it's white because we're going to be colouring them up. So I've just done a bunch of the 5-petal flowers and 1 set of the daisy flowers there. So I'm just going to push those to the side, and we're going to colour them, or I'm going to colour them with alcohol markers. I like the alcohol markers because you still get the text showing through, but you could paint them, you could use distress ink, you could use whatever to colour them. You could spray them with a spray, you could use food colouring, whatever your jam is. So I'm going to start with the biggest one, I think. The biggest one here. Choose a side, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to go in with my darkest orange. And on backing paper so you're not worried about colouring in your desk, unless you really want to colour your desk or your mat, but I don't. A little bit of the colour will seep through onto the back, but we're not worrying about the back. You'll see the back when you turn the flowers over, but that's fine. It is book page. So beware of words that you don't want, because the words will be visible. Okay, just roughly coloured, doesn't matter. And you could get a bit fancier. You could add lines, you could do a gradient colour. But because I'm layering these, I'm just going to do the different layers in different colours. So I'm going with it's called Marigold. It's a paler orange for the next layer. And I also like alcohol markers because it's quick and easy. You could use any markers though, any felt tip pen. You could even use crayons if you wanted, or pastels, or your choice. What have you got in your stash that you could use to colour? Bearing in mind certain things will take away the text, so you will no longer see the text, like acrylic paint for example. And then, oops, I missed a bit. Beware of that. Missing some of the edges. That, and then I've got a pastel peach, and we'll do the next layer in that. Easy colouring. This makes me want to get out my adult colouring books and have a play. Oh, that's interesting. There's a bit of red appearing on that from somewhere. That's okay, doesn't matter. It's just interesting. I don't know where that came from. And then for the middle layer, or not the middle layer, the smallest layer is what I was meaning. I could go back to the darkest one. I could go yellow, even black or brown, whatever you like. I'm going to go terracotta, so kind of an orangey brown. In fact, it's quite orange. This would have been a good back layer as well. So that's super cute. We'll construct it in a moment. So I'm going to do this one as well. I'm also going to do it in orange. I'm going to start with the terracotta, because I think this will go really well with that lace that we put on the basket. These colours. Not that I'm trying to colour match, because I think a garden should be full of all sorts of colours, and it looks beautiful. Cottage style, when it's just a bit of everything. And for the top layer, so this one's just going to have 2 layers. Let's go kind of the mid-orange, the marigold. So we're going bright. This is part of the bright. Of course, you can do it in any style you like. If you prefer to do it pastels, or more vintagey or grungy, of course you could do that, but today I'm doing bright. So super cute. So let's move that so you can actually see them. And I'm going to, the holes in these, the biggest one's got the biggest hole, and so just by gluing around the hole is the best way to glue these layers together, because it's going to definitely go onto the back of the smaller layer, whereas if you put it on here, sometimes you can get in the gaps, if that makes sense. I'm just going to position the petals so they basically go in between. Hopefully I'm making sense here. So around the hole, and we'll turn this so it again falls in the gaps between the petals on the previous layer. And then our final layer, I keep going to glue on the flower, but I learnt this when I was practicing for the video, that it's better to put it around the hole on these flowers anyway. and then that one. So we've got 4 layers on that flower. Just pop it aside for a moment and we'll just do this one. Now these have a hole in the middle, so you can decide what you want to do with the hole in the middle. And I think I will put those aside to dry, and we'll colour the daisy one, and then we'll deal with the centres all together. Okay, so for the daisy we have here, I'm going to go with yellow. So I have 2 shades of yellow here, deep yellow and lemon yellow. So the back one I'm going to do with the deepest shade. This would have gone well with the orange as well, actually. It's quite an orangey toned yellow. Oops, get that edge there. And we've got 3 layers, don't we? Yes, we do. So our lighter yellow for, oh, that's beautiful and bright, isn't it? It fits the bill of bright. So I think this is a lovely way to celebrate the book page, but to just give it a bit more interest. And then we're using the pastel peach for our smallest layer on this flower. And this one doesn't have the hole in the centre, it's just got a plain centre. Alright, so these are a little easier to glue together because they don't have the hole. There's a very sing-songy bird outside, busy chirping. Lovely. Sounds like a small bird. So again, I'm just popping the petals in between the gaps on the previous layer. So if you've got die cuts or a die cutting machine, this is a good way to use die cuts. There we go. So they're all glued together and all coloured. Right. I'll get to the centres in a moment, because first I want to do some stems. So these at the moment have no stems, as you can tell, and we need to give them stems so that we then have something to poke inside our basket. So for this we need more book page, and I just like to take a book page and trim it into approximately 1/2 inch strips. So I'm going to cut 3. It doesn't really matter how wide. You don't want them too wide because you want them to look like a stem, but we're going to be folding the strips in half, so that's why we're kind of going with about 1/2 inch, give or take. Not critical, people, just do what looks good. And mine are all different widths here because I wasn't measuring, it was just rough approximation. I'm going to fold, but you want them to be wide enough that you can actually fold them in half. Or you can make them wide, or like fold a book page in half, glue it together and then cut it into strips, would be the other way round to do it. So fold it in half. Let's do all 3, sort of mini mess make style. In fact, I didn't actually think about folding a page in half, gluing it and then cutting it into strips. Did not occur to me till this moment. Funny. I guess because when I was practicing I was doing them one at a time. Doesn't matter if they're not straight. Like stems aren't straight, are they? In nature they're bendy, they're crooked, they go off at odd angles sometimes, and sometimes they're dead straight. It's really just a mechanism so we can poke it into our basket and have it show and not sink to the bottom of our basket. So just putting some glue inside and gluing them together. And this gives them some strength, so they're not going to flop around too much when we're putting them in and out of our basket. Oops. So I have no idea what my partner in crime, shall we say, today is doing for her project. So again, that's My Altered Muse is the name of her channel. I assume it's a female. They're a new one to me, so I obviously haven't seen their video yet because I'm pre-recording this. But I will definitely be checking out and seeing what they come up with for the Blossoming Bookpage Baskets prompt. Hopefully we're doing something different, but I guess it doesn't matter too much if we're not, because we'll all definitely have our different style. Right, so for these I'm going to perhaps start with the one that's glued first and take a green marker and just colour this in. Any green. I'm just going to do them all the same green just to make it easier. You could be a bit fancier, you could add leaves if you wanted. I'm not going to bother because for me these are just to allow them to be put in the basket. They're not about the stems being visible. The stems aren't supposed to be visible, but if they do happen to be seen, then at least you're getting a bit of green. Okay, so there we go, we've done our colouring. You know, I'm not doing the backs because, like the flowers, the backs are, well, they're actually coloured because the alcohol marker's soaked through. Right, so I'm going to kind of work out where I need to put the glue, hold it at the bottom where I need the glue to go down to, so I'm not gluing too far. And then just making sure I get at that point. And we've got ourselves a stem. It's not a fancy stem. Now this one we are going to be covering the centre, so I'm just going to do it straight up over the centre. And we can glue to about there. The centre you could cover with a little punched shape like a mini flower. That would look super cute, or you could even use a punched heart or a circle from a hole punch, just a regular hole punch circle would work, and a contrasting colour maybe. But I'm going to use something dimensional today. But you may not want the dimension because it will create lumps and bumps on the page. But remember, our flowers are designed to be removable, so I don't see that it's a big issue with lumps and bumps. You just take them out to write or put a writing board in between or something and it will be fine. So there we have 3 flowers, 3 different sizes. And for the centres, I'm going to use stick-on adhesive gems. I've had these for years as well. My hubby bought me a lot one year for, was it Christmas? And they were stored in a different room, and oh, sorry, excuse me. Sorry about that. And I forgot about them, and I was looking for something else and saw them, and it was like, oh my gosh, I so need to get those out and use them and play with them. So I'm just going to grab some of these ones. They do have these ones, unfortunately, they're held together with a line of sticky, so I've got to cut them individually. This one, we could just put one single gem in the middle. I think that's quite sweet. but typically I will put 3. Sticking to my scissors. They're very sticky, so I'm not worried about adding extra glue. I think these darker ones on the yellow one would be fun. You have to peel all these sticky bits off my scissors later on. So it's a different colour to those two. I don't mind. It's like in nature you would find variations, so I'm not worried about everything being matchy match. And maybe go with these 3 light ones. So there's one that's clear and 2 that are, I would call champagne coloured. Don't cut my finger. I prefer not to cut my finger. It would interfere with my crafting. So I'm going to put one right over that hole so it covers the hole. Getting so many sticky bits on my scissors here. So much so that they're re-sticking to my gems. You could also use glitter. You could use... Oh, do I want more than one? Now I'm thinking maybe I don't. Or maybe I just use more. Like, let's go crazy. Let's do another 3. Let's do these 3. Why not? They're bright. And I think they would go fine with the shabby as well. It's going to have all the bling, or in, as my stepfather would say, all the blings. Don't ask me why, but somehow he seems to think that it needs an S on the end of it, and it's quite funny. My hubby and I laugh about it whenever, you know, with the subject of bling or something shiny or something comes up. We say, oh, the blings. It's a fun way of remembering my stepfather in our conversation. He's alive, don't get me wrong, he's not dead. But just, you know, saying something like that makes us think of him. So, pop those away because we're finished with those now. And let's pop them in our basket. So we can trim these down to size, but leave enough room so that the person using the journal can lift them up a bit higher if they want to. So you could lift that right up to the top of the page there. And you can layer, mix and match, or you could have all the same type of flower. You could have flowers from different mediums. That's not quite what I want to say. Different, you know, like digital book page and then book page die cuts. Or die cut book page, probably is a better way of saying that. And you can put them on an angle as well if you want to shorten it without actually cutting it. Mix and match to your heart's content. Rearrange them. The owner of the journal can rearrange them and create a spread that's pleasing to them for any day of the week. So that hasn't got a lot of flowers on it. I was saying about the leaves that you cut off. These leaves are from this rose book page, and then this one that we cut off. You can also add those in, tuck those in as a little something, or you can add them as decoration down on your basket. Like so. I won't do that there though because of the quote. And this you could cut off and add a, let's just cut it off actually at the stem. Do we want to add up a little leaf up here? Yeah, I'm going to add that wee leaf up there. Just so it's not floating, we might as well glue it down. So you can use things that you cut off in other ways in other places, or save it for a completely different project. I do apologise for all the interruptions between the doorbell and my alarm going off just then. It's like not my idea of how a collab video should go. But however, I'm just happy to get this done, really. Okay, so I'm not going to continue adding flowers because I just wanted to give you kind of a taster of different ways that you could achieve that. Now for our spare flowers, which I don't have any for that page, I'm going to bring back my prototype here, which you haven't seen. So this is my prototype. We did a different style basket. It's narrower and it's taller. This is the applique flower, which I put mini gems in the middle of. It's got 3 little mini gems laced at the top. Some of the leaves cut off from the roses I just put cascading down the side, and I could add this one in here if I wanted, like that. And I might do that actually because it feels balanced to me, or up the side like that. I'll play around with that. So I've got a purple book page flower of the 5-petal one, and I've got a red daisy one with the gems. This has got a single large gem in the middle of that one. You've got a bunch of the fussy cuts from Rachel's freebie. See how I've left that extra length on the stem. And then we have roses cut from the rose book, and it was a page that had yellow and red roses on it. So really, really pretty. And so they can just tuck in there. You can have little petals hanging over the edge like this. Hangs over the edge of the basket. These have got quite short stems on them, so that does limit how far down you can put them. They are a little curly, but they will flatten out once they've been in a journal for a bit. I've only recently made them, so they're still in the curly phase. You know, and just play. I like quite eclectic mixed bouquets, so that's what I've gone with here. But you could totally just go with one type, like the printables. You could make a beautiful arrangement just with those. And this little short one down in the front there. Now, to hold the extra flowers, you do need something that, one, is removable because of the dimension I've used. So in here I've just got a couple of spares. So there's another one of those daisy ones with the gems, because these are bumpy. If you use something like glitter or stickles or something, it's not going to be as bumpy. There's another printable backed with the book page, and then that rose that I stole for here was also in there. And so I just made this little envelope out of one of the kit pages, this beautiful floral pattern, which I'm sure you all would have seen because it's been used in a number of projects. So I made myself a wee envelope to hold the spares. The envelopes in the kit aren't quite long enough for the length of the stems, so that's why I made an envelope. And then you can either attach it to the page. If you're going to have a center spread like this, you can attach it to the page, so it's always handy. But if you're working in a journal, then you can attach it to the page, but then you've got to remove everything out of it that's bumpy if you want to write in it. So I do recommend that it's just either clipped in or tucked into another pocket, so that the person can take them out and go, I feel like a change today. What would I like to do in my basket? It's like, oh yes, I would like another one of those daisies. We're no longer in spring, so I think we'll take the daffodils out. The crocuses, maybe we'll take those out because again, spring. This could be any time, so we'll leave that in. And maybe the hyacinth, we'll take that out and we'll just leave it in the more, actually maybe we'll take that one out and leave it in the bright bold colours. Or we could decide, oh, I feel like I'm in a bright mood, so let's go with yellow and red hot colours and do something like that. So lots of options for the owner of the journal to play and create arrangements to suit their mood on any given day. So that's my idea for the Bright Shabby Blossoming Bookpage Baskets. That's quite a mouthful. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope it's a little bit different to what you might have seen before. It can be tricky coming at the end of the collaboration. So if you've made it this far through, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time and watching. And if you would like to subscribe to my channel, I would so appreciate that. And of course, subscribe to the other creatives channels too, because you wouldn't believe how encouraging that is to all of us when you support us in that way. And it costs you nothing. Just hit the subscribe button and you're good to go. And make sure you watch the video as well, because otherwise YouTube will sneakily just remove your subscription, and that's not helpful. So have a great day, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this project. Hope you enjoyed the collaboration. And thanks for being here. Take care. Bye.